more Blue Devils. Today we are looking at 11. Why is it called 11? Well, most likely because the whole piece is in 11/16. Well, 11/16 is a time signature. The time signature you're used to doing is most often 4/4. Well, 4/4 simply means you can get 4 quarter notes in each bar. Well, 11/16 is simply saying that you can fit 11 16th notes in the bar. Now, when we take 4/4, we could, if we wanted to, call it 8/8, so we can get 8/8 notes in the bar, or we could even call it 16/16. Right? So the 11/16 concept isn't that difficult. The first thing that you need to do to understand this is just quickly try this really, really simple exercise. All we're going to do is we're going to do 4 16th notes. I like to use the word caterpillar to help get through that. So I've got caterpillar, do it twice. At the end I've got just 3 16th notes. I'm going to use the word radio. So I'm going to go caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio. And you can see it's making me switch hands, so I could do a bounce triplet instead. But that is our 11/8. No, it's not. Our 11/16. Now we could count 1 E under 2 E under 3 E and 1 E under 2 E under 3 E and 1 E under 2, right? But that's going to often make things more complicated than we need. With this particular pattern then, 4 4 3 at the end, we could, if we want, go 4 3 4, which happens in this piece a few times. So that would give us caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar. Or we could put the radio at the start and go radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, 4 3 3. Radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, stop. Okay, so real simple way of understanding this piece. Let's get stuck straight in. The first section, we've got a nice little repetitive pattern that just goes like this. And again, that's doing the caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, 1 and 2 and 3 under, 1 and 2 and 3 under. We play 2 right-handed, 2 left-handed, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 under, 1 and 2 and 3 under, 1 and 2 and. Easy, 2, 3, 4. Broken stick here. Excuse the sign difference. 2, 3, 4. Right, then what we do is on the next bar we just move the 3 to the middle. So we get 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 1 and 1 2 3 1 2. And again we do 2 rights, 2 lefts. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 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 stop. So the whole top line 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 1 2 3 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 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 and 1 2 3 1 2 1 and 1 2 3 1 2 1. As you guys know by now, I normally use a metronome today. I'm going to scrap the metronome, all right? I've tried a few settings. You can get 11/16 on metronomes, but to be honest, it just gets more confusing than we need, all right? So the whole of that top line, 2, 3, 4. Change. That's the whole top line done. Right, next line, we get a little bit more of a groove going on. So we're going to start off with a double beat like pattern. with a rim shot, da 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 da, but then we get that little 3 in that little radio, da 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 da, radio stop. This is all up, I believe. Then with that release that I'm playing there, that left hand, that's where we play it off the left hand. So da 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 da, radio, da 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 da, radio. 1, 2, 3. That's the whole of that line. So let's jump to the third line. Third line, we start off with this little tenor thing. And what's happening there is the snares are playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop. And that's the first bar. Ba, 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 ba. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and, sorry, 1 and 2 and. Now, most drummers would probably then written 1, 2, 3, da 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 on the left hand. I believe Scott Johnson wrote this piece, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but whoever wrote it, they decided then that instead of going and repeating it off the left, they then did the 3 first, and then the to release. So the second bar goes da 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 1, da 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 1, 2, 3, and then the release will be a double stop. So we get 1, 2, 3, da 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 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, dun, dun, dun. So the 2 together, and now this next bar, there's 2 bars in this whole piece where I'm not really thinking about downbeats or time or anything. I'm just knowing the tune, the pattern, the rhythms that are played, and this is one of those examples. So instead of taking 1 bar of 11/16, I put them 2 together to make like 22/16 if you want to think it like that, right? So I'm thinking then, I'm breaking that into chunks. So I'm breaking the first chunk into double, single, double like this. And again, fairly easy. 1 more. Right, the second part of that 2 bars, I think of 2 doubles and a single. Like that. So if I put those together, I'll play the first part on the rear and the second part on the drum so you can feel what I'm feeling. So I'm getting then. But obviously it's all together. Now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated at the end. All of those at the moment have got the equivalent of 1/16 in between. So if I play that part on the right, with my right hand on the edge of the rim, I could play 1 left in between each one like this. Do you know what I mean? So there's 1 note in between. What we get at the end is we get the equivalent of a 3 and a 5. So a 3 and a 5, if we just did like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could all do that pretty easy there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we could think of there instead is we could go back to thinking of just normal time. We could go which we could all do, I'm sure. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. That's a bad example, isn't it? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. So bounce triplet, 1 E and then 2 E and a 3. Now that particular pattern is what happens at the end. So we get our first part, our second part. Now that release is the start of. So I play it in context, you make sense then. And except for instead of them playing, they just go. So they're having to hear that in the head. Now there's other sections covering those notes, so you can hear them. So we get. And that's that part. That's time. Now I could try and explain that for you for the next 10 minutes and make it more and more complicated, right? If you just play it a bunch of times and listen to BD playing it, you'll get that, oh, I get it moment, all right? So the whole of that line then, we're going to get. And again. look at that. Okay, I like this next bit. So this next part, we've got this going on. Which is a strange little pattern there. Now there's a nice little bass drum pattern that sits underneath it, so it gives it a bit of a groove. But if we break it into rudiments, it's fairly easy to learn, right? We've got choo-choo. So choo-choos are these. Para, diddle with flams on. Para, flam tap, para, flam tap, para, flam tap, para, flam tap. So we're playing one of those. Now, we've then got these guys. What are these called? Batwings, I think, something like that. I've gone blank. I'm going to call them batwings, right? Which is a single, a flam, and 2 more lefts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. However, we're moving that across by 1 note, so we're starting with the, let's have a look at the notation real quick. We're starting with the left hand, then doing the batwing. So it's going 1 E-hander, 2 E-hander, 3 E-hander, 4 E-hander, 1 E-hander, 2 E-hander, 3 E-hander, 4 E-hander. So choo-choo, batwing with a note before it. So that's the worst example ever. So it's going to end 1 E-hander, 2 E-hander, 3 on a left hand. And again. Then at the end, we've got a little equivalent of 5-stroke, which would give us however, being BD, instead of thinking of as a roll, they play it with singles. So and we end with a rim. Now there's going to be 4 of those in a row. So take a moment now just to master that and get that really comfortable. If you've got it, then start to loop it. And there's this sort of groove, that kind of feel. And that's all of that line. Next line, right, this is where we start to get down some chops, right? We start to get some real notes coming in here. So we start off with the release of that. So we go with 1, then we've got 2 flam accents, so nice and easy. 1, under, 2, E-hander. And then on the little 3 at the end, 1, under, 2, E-hander. We just do, so flam taps are these, flam tap 3s are these. So we're just dropping in 1 flam tap 3. So we go 1, under, 2, E-hander, which ends on the left hand. One more time. Next bar, we're doing the thing where we get the 4 and then the 3 in the middle and then the 4 at the end. So the 4s are both done flam taps. So the first 4 is left hand and the last 4 is right-handed flam taps, but the 3 in the middle is just a flam accent. So we get flam tap, and flam accent, flam tap, stop. So it sounds like this. So those 2 bars together are what make up this little section. So we get 1, under, 2, E-hander. For me, the little flam accent in the middle is what's going to throw me away. I would have liked that to have been another flam tap in there, right? Flam tap 3, but it's not, all right? So we've got 1, under, 2, E-hander. One more. This is another section where you're really going to have to work because it's ridiculously quick. Oops. Well, we'll play it on, eh? Right, so it's going to be flying, right? The next section, we've got to get really good at inverted flam taps here. But inverted flam tap 3. So we're going flam tap, tap, flam tap, tap, flam tap, tap, flam tap, tap. there's 6 of those in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a release, but we get a note before, so we get 1. And we want to think of that as 2 groupings of 3 lots. So we get 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, stop. Now, because it's BD here, they're going to make things all a little bit difficult. So what they're doing is they're going to cheese the last 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're cheesing those last 3. So 1, 2, 3, then cheese, 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 release. 1. This bit is horribly fast. Let's try the whole of that line. Right, it's difficult slow. I've got used to playing it now. When you get used to playing it, it kind of flows nicely. You get a certain tempo. It's a bit more difficult slow. So I'll play it once and then we'll count you in. Oh, I should have told you at the end. With the end. So this next section that's going to happen next is this bit. This kind of high lift stuff. So the release of this is one of those high lifts, right? So we've got the last section with the inverts. We're going to end like that, which will be like 2 eighth notes. Anyway, let's try it. So 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, anyone who's struggling with this stuff, thinking, "Damn, he's getting ahead of me," right? Stick with it, right? Just go through the whole of the piece, learn all the bars, because at the end I'm going to try my best anyway to play it real slow for you to use as a reference. And you can learn all this in your own time then, all right? So the whole of that line one more time. 3, 4, 1. Okay, next line. We're into this section that I mentioned before. And what we're basically doing here is we're doing that same idea that I spoke about at the start, 4, 4, 3, but we're going to, instead of playing, we're diddling those notes. Caterpillar, caterpillar, radio, caterpillar, caterpillar, radio. But what we're doing is we're playing all of those as left hands and right hand diddles. So now they also do it left-handed, so you're going to need to learn that. But they switch halfway through. And what they do is they put a little 5-stroke in there and one of those 3s. So we go, let me just double check that. Yeah, but there's an accent on the first one, so we're going to get, there's the first bar, then like that. Difficult to play slow, right? So this is the 2 bars. There's exactly the same off the left hand. So I put the 2 together. And that's that part. Let's move on. Next section. Right, we've got this being played. And you can hear it's the same kind of theme, but what we're getting then is we're getting 2 accented diddles. So that's my 4s. Digga digga dat dat, digga digga dat dat. And then the 3, we're doing that. Digga digga dat dat, digga digga dat dat. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. But what they've done is they've taken out one of those accents. So we get accent, accent, tap, tap, accent, accent, tap, tap. And then instead of accent, accent, tap, they've gone tap, accent, tap. tap, accent tap. It's easy for me to play. Like that. But obviously it's really quick, alright? Then the same off the left hand. So get that tune going around your head. And get a whole bunch of reps in. This bit, I think, takes the longest to be able to master, alright? So take your time getting this. Next up, we've got... what are these? Lost my bearings. Right, these are 6-stroke rolls. So we've got 2 6-stroke rolls. Then we've got a 3 at the end. Now, if I take the diddles out, we're essentially doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. So 3 rights there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. And they kind of float that left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. But we're obviously putting the diddles in. Last time. Then we're doing a roll, right? Now it's just a straight roll, but it's left-handed. But again, we've got to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, stop. But we're rolling it. But without those pulses in there. But what we are doing is we're crescendoing that. It's quick, like in the proper version. So the whole of that line, right from the 2, 3, 4. Line, you'll be happy to know it slows down a little bit here. We get this part now. I like this part. This is where they kind of do this kind of high sticking thing where we go, they're all flam taps, flam tap, flam tap, flam, a flam tap, flam tap, flam, a flam tap, flam tap, flam. But because of that 11/8, they've got that nice little sort of swing groove to them. They're a little bit more doing this kind of motion, aren't they? But I'm playing it just high. So it's 2 of those. 1 and 2 and 3, a 1 and 2 and 3, a stop. 1 and 2 and 3, a 1 and 2 and 3, a stop. Then they take out the flam taps and instead just go flam, 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 and stop. Flam, 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 and stop. So those first 2 bars, 1 and 2 and flam tap, 1 and 2 and flam tap. Then this part here, alright? Flam, 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 flam. Now they've got a nice little part here where they suddenly go into a triplet roll. And I assume purposely they drag this roll actually a lot slower tempo. So we get essentially what we're saying is we're going to go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 and because it's off the left. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 and right? But it's rolled. And that little acceleration at the end is where we go to 16th notes. But it's almost like they really want to slow that a little bit, so they're right in the back of that one. So that last 2 bars goes 2, 3, 4, whole line 3, 4, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, 1 and 2 and 3. One more time. Right, now we're into this nice little groove section, right? We start off with hit, flam, this thing, right? I call that a column. That's a column, anything where you're doing this. So we're gonna go hit, stick, click, column. 1, 2, 3. If I remember correctly, they hit both hands there. The right hand just does a tap, so we get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're in 11, so 1, 2, 3, a 1, 1, 2, ba, 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 1, 2, 3, a 1. Now this is that point where they go 1 and 2, 3, a 1 and 2, 3, a right, right, left, right, a right, right, left, and a right, right, left. It's quite an easy groove, but we're going to go. So we're pressing that in, or we can buzz it if we want. Right, I believe that there. Just press in. I'm not sure now. Someone go watch the video for me. Tell me if they do shorts or longs. Alright, so we've got 1 stick, 2, a 1 and 2, and a 1 and 2, and a 1 and 2, and a 1 and 2. So there's 4 lots of these. Da 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 da, which should be da 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 3 da 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 4 da da. So 1, 2, 3, a 1 da, and a 2 da, and a 3 da, and a 4 da, and a 1. The last one then, an extra one. There's 4 lots, and they put a 5th on there. What they do is they lift the stick up and they play da, da, and they rim shot, and then a flam tap off the left hand. So that whole section, that whole line, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, a 1 and 2, and 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 a 1, 2, 3 again, 4, 1, 2, 3, a 1 and 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 2. Right, good news. Final line, right? This is this nice little bit at the end, all these. Right, so those are just right, right, left, left, and real quick. So we start off with 2 of those and a flam release. So you could think of like double beat, dun 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 dun, but a flam. Now if we then do a flam tap at the end, but with a right-handed release, da 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 da. You can see on the notation I've put one note a little bit higher up. That's to show you that this point that we're at the moment. Now. Now. So where I'm saying now, that's where another one of those little radios comes in, one of those little 3s. So we actually do a 5, which is really a 2 and a 3. And a 1, 2, 3 stop with a flam left. And a 1, 2, 3 stop. And a 1, 2, 3 stop. So that's going to go. Next bar, we're going to start with the 3 this time. Then we're going to play a part that would be without the diddles. Da 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 da. But with diddles. So with a 3 above, it goes 1, 2, 3 da 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 da, and 1, 2, 3 da 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 da, and the 1, 2, 3 is a 3 lefts. So we go. And. So those 2 bars would go. So in the middle you've got this kind of a 5 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So that's worth practicing on its own. Maybe practice that on its own now for a couple of minutes. Once you've got that, where we've ended, the last 2 bars are a little bit more simple because we've just got, which is essentially 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a release. Then we've got a quarter note triplet. Da, 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 da. I wouldn't think too much about timing, let's just hear the tune. Da, da. Now then, I'm going to hit a stick click so you understand where the downbeat is. Yeah, it'll be there. It's the equivalent of a 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 1. So da 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 1, 2, 3, 1. 3, 3, 1. Now that then would be the start again, where you go da go dugga da ga this. But basically, the snare line just go da 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 da, and they go da 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 1, 2, 3, 1. Da 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 1, 2, 3, 1. The tenors do that. Do ga 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 ga. Do go a little triplet with a do ba 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 ba. But that's going to be 1 da 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 da. Sorry, da 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 ba ba da ba. 1 and 2 and hig da da. So we've got. Let's do that last bit. So ba 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 da ba. And again 3, 4. Ba 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 da ba. 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da ba. Hard one, isn't it? Right, whole line. 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da ba. Did I play that one wrong? Not doing enough. 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da ba. I'm not sure if I played the previous one wrong. Right, that one was right. 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da ba. Down. That sticks down at the end. All right. That, guys, is the whole of 11. I'd attempt to play it slow, right? I can play it medium speed, kind of fast, but slow is going to be really difficult, right? But I'll do it a couple of times for you, see if I can help you get through it. 2, 3, 4. Down. You'd be surprised, man, how hard that is to play at that speed. It's much easier to do a little bit quicker. Right, take some time now, go through the exercise lots and lots of times. If you haven't already and you're digging these lessons, please subscribe, leave me some comments. I do read the comments. Obviously I can't do every single thing that is requested, but please put in your requests for what things you want me to break down, right? The shorter ones are easier because this long form content doesn't get watched as much. And for me, I quite like going and looking and seeing that lots of people are getting use of it. So suggest some others. A few people have suggested some SCV stuff, so I might go back and do some of that next. A few people have said about electric wheelchair, maybe Martian Mambo, some of the old school stuff. So yeah, keep the stuff coming. Please subscribe and go check out my other lessons. Let's have one go quick, see if I can hang a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy for you guys, but we'll go medium, maybe 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. take that one. For you guys who are asking, I always get asked the same questions. So Vic Firth, Roger Carter's at the moment. Sometimes old school Ralph's. Off-wheel percussion practice pad. This one is here. Version 3, covered in stick tape. And I didn't use a metronome this one, but I always get asked. It's called Pro Metronome, okay? So, like I said, go check out another video. Hope you got a lot out of that. Go practice it. See you soon.